Alright guys, welcome back to Strong Successful Male. So for today in the Ask SSM video series, got email from a subscriber. This guy is 59 years old. He is an Army combat veteran, and very sadly he has just learned that he has been diagnosed with terminal cancer, and he does not have a whole lot of time left. He absolutely does not want to have to fight it anymore because he knows that will just prolong the suffering and he's done. However, 15 years ago, he had got divorced from his wife and had a major falling out with her and the 3 kids because he's a combat veteran. He was on a lot of medication for PTSD, and it caused a lot of problems, as you can probably imagine. And it was just too much for her and the kids. And he hasn't spoken to them for 15 years. And you're going to see he doesn't entirely blame the kids because it was that bad. But now that, he's soon, what's going on, he wants to reconnect with them and want to know my opinion about the whole thing, etc., etc. So I'm going to go over this here, guys, and because this guy deserves to be heard, and hopefully maybe some of you guys in some capacity has some experience with this, that maybe somebody out there can help this guy out and give him some peace for his final remaining days, because I really want to help this guy out. He says here, hey SSM, this won't be your normal email, and it's going to be long. I'm 59 years old, and I just learned that I have terminal cancer. It'll be my second round with a big C, and this time I'm not going to fight it. Any treatment will only prolong my suffering anyway. A little over 15 years ago, when my ex put me out and wanted a divorce, I found out I had bone cancer in my jaw and cheek from being exposed to depleted uranium from my time in the Army. Holy crap. So, sounds like you were on the medication for PTSD and there were problems. Then this thing happened about the cancer in your jaw and your lungs. Oh my God. I was made 100% disabled by the VA and underwent 42 surgeries to repair my face and rebuild the bone. Holy crap, man. Anyway, the ex wanted the divorce because I was hooked on medication for PTSD that I got clean from just not in time to save my marriage. I had 3 children, and they sided with their mother and cut all contact with me, going so far as to say that I'm dead to them. That's terrible, man. I can't blame them, because seeing me having flashbacks of combat and being passed out on medical overdose, I deserved it, but I got myself clean back then just too late. And for the record, I've been clean for the last 15 years. Well, sir, I'm really glad you were able to get clean and all that, but sadly, it was too late. During a routine medical checkup, they found tumors in my lungs, kidney, and liver. The PET scan and lung biopsy showed I have 2 types, kidney cancer spread to my lungs, and I am not on speaking terms with my kids, and they live in different states. I moved back home after the divorce. Any advice on how I can open a talking dialogue with them and not have to use cancer to guilt them into talking to me? I want them to want to talk, but not feel like they have to or should to. So, wow. Well, first off, I am really sorry about everything you went through, both with your divorce and then with the kids and then your time served, and you had the PTSD and your understanding medication, and look the thanks you got, right? But you said yourself you don't blame them because obviously it was that bad, and you did get cleaned up, but sadly it wasn't enough time. And I can't imagine just the pain involved between everything that's happened to you, and now you have this. I really am sorry for you, sir, and I truly hope that your final days you can find peace and joy with your friends and your family left over and all that, and hopefully I can help you out. With your kids, you look at this from different sides here. You said you don't blame them for, them not wanting anything to do with you, so it must have been pretty darn bad, and they obviously were a lot younger, so I've mentioned this in other videos, guys. I'm going to be as vague as possible for reasons you can understand. I have an addict in my family, a lifelong addict, and who I'm extremely close with. So I know what it's like to be, in a family with that constantly going on. That individual is constantly in and out of rehab for life. Many offing oneself's attempt, times in the hospital. I mean, when you go visit somebody, in the loony bin and also in rehab and stuff like, it wears on you a long time. And that individual had finally, after when things got so bad, it took rock bottom of losing the family, that individual turned things around. Things have been good ever since. However, damage is done. So I kind of know what it's like to be on the end of that. That being said, if it's that important to you, obviously, then I would recommend reaching out to them, perhaps by letter or maybe phone call if you want to each of them. And obviously, the second you reach out to one of them, the rest are going to call each other. And maybe on the basis that that's 15 years later and they have gone through life and had experience, and maybe some of them are parents and have made mistakes and gone through hardships, they might be a little more sympathetic. Because again, you said yourself that you can't entirely blame them because it was that bad. Okay, so fair enough. And obviously it's important to you. Now, if they were a bunch of jerks and everything, if it was a situation where maybe the wife really poisoned them against you and it wasn't as bad as she meant it to be, then you could say the hell with them. Now I am not a parent. I have no idea what it's like to be a parent and all that. So I'm trying to, as best as possible, look at this from that to understand. So I think if it's really important to you, and obviously is, then reach out to them. Now, that's a possibility that even though it's been 15 years and they've experienced life and they still won't want to be involved with you. And, I just hope you can be prepared for that. But it sounds like, in a way, you would feel better trying and then knowing, as opposed to meeting your end and not trying at all, And I guess that all depends on you. But I think that if it's that important to you and you wrote in, then I think you should do it. But if they don't want anything to do with you and you don't want to mention the cancer and that your number is up pretty soon, no offense, I'm just, that's what it is. Let's be honest here. Then at that point, I would have to find peace for how things are and spend your remaining days with the remainder of people that really care about you, your friends, remaining family, doing some things you enjoy, tying up loose ends, making peace with everything you have to do. And that's that. That's all I can think you can do. And I hope for your sake that they are older and more mature and are willing to listen and all that. And hopefully, and if not all of them, maybe one or two of them, and hopefully, but it's a really tough situation. If anybody deserves some peace, certainly is you. And obviously, like you said, it was really bad, and you can't blame them. Mistakes are made, In the situation with the family member being vague about, that family member did not have PTSD from being a combat veteran or anything like that. It was just things I don't need to get into. But the saddest thing is that you were in the Army and you were serving your country, and you were on medication because you were messed up because all that, and then the ripple effect, look what happened. It's terrible. So again, absolutely in my sympathies, and I'm sorry about what happened and what's happening. And so I'd reach out to them. If it's that important to you, you can go for it. And letters, phone calls, but be prepared. You may not get what you want, but I really think at the end of the day, you'll probably be happier that at least you tried. And you never know. I really hope for a miracle that, that at the very least one of them will talk to you and hear you out. And maybe you can mend some things. And I really do hope for that. So I think you should reach out. Now, some people will disagree with me. Some people say, oh, the hell with them. They haven't talked to you in 15 years and all that. But it may be in their mind that it was just so bad and you're never going to change and stuff like that, So, we can go back and forth, and it'll probably be a divided comment section here. But in the end of the day, ultimately, I think you should do what you want to do, period. Regardless of what I say or anybody else does. That's what I think. So Sarah, I absolutely wish you the absolute best in everything in your final days, and while you're making peace with everything and spend time doing things you enjoy. And again, I thank you for writing in and watching my channel and writing into me and thinking of me to maybe help your situation. So guys watching this, it's not going to be a super popular video because this is not a video about open marriages and open relationships or guys getting revenge. This is a guy who needs some help. So you guys, anybody been through experience like this, either someone like him that's been something like this, or maybe any of you guys are the children of somebody that was in a situation like this, please share your input. Let's help this guy get some final peace in his final days here. I really want that. This channel's I made this channel for a lot of reasons, to help guys out on multiple fronts here, and hopefully we can really help this guy out. So, sir, I wish you the best, truly. All right, guys, that's it for today. Be sure to comment down below. I just said that. And guys, you got a story or question you want to share or ask me, please email me, strongsuccessfulmale@gmail.com. Just give me some time to get to it, and I will if it definitely works for the channel. And be sure to like the video, share with your friends, and subscribe. And I'll catch you next time.